Last time on the casual adventures of the undead. Honestly, it's been like 6 months, so who really remembers what happened? Either way, without further ado, the resident dweller of the underworld, the one and only Dark Anubis.
Oh boy, Undead and folks, it's been like, what, 10 years? Possibly even longer. Totally kidding. It's probably been almost, I'd say 6 months since our last content upload. That was a live stream, and I think it was 9 or 10 months back when we did videos. So it has been a while. I have been gone, and I do apologize, but here we are. And I know some of you Boom Beach lovers are like, what the heck is this content? We gotta show off a little bit of Clash. Love, you know how it goes. But yes, we are back on the grind. Not that we really ever left, honestly. As you can see, we've made some progress on the main account. We are currently Town Hall 15, and then our other accounts, which we'll show off probably here in the near future, have made a little bit of work as well. Not nearly as far as we could be, but definitely hanging in there. In the video today, we're going to kind of talk about some of the events that are going on, as you can see that are playing on the screen. Little life updates, and then, you know, whatever other shebang. But we do have clan games going on currently in the game, and there is also the WWE event where they're doing a crossover with WWE. Now, mind you, it's pretty badass, I ain't gonna lie. The event troops, which we'll definitely be showing off in the video, are probably the most overpowered troops we've had get released as far as temporary troops are concerned. So much so that they had to get an emergency nerf. But hey, I ain't gonna complain about it because honestly, it's totally badass. But that being said, what else am I missing? Clan games. Oh, we're kind of showing off the base a little bit, of course. As you guys know, we don't script here, so if I do have slight pauses, it's because I honestly don't remember what the heck is going on. But besides that, we are like halfway through 15, if you want to call it that. I guess if you don't include walls, we have some of our hero levels a little bit, and like half of our defenses. We have all of our offensive buildings. We still don't have much of the pet house, so there's that. Oh, that reminds me. Talk about the things that we've missed over the last 6 months. If you guys didn't know, Clash of Clans has finally presented itself, something that I think Boom Beach did better for a while, but now Clash of Clans now does it better because it doesn't cost money. Don't get me wrong, I love Boom Beach. They do great things as well. Like I said, it's not like Clash has anything like warships, so that's nice. But Clash did come out with the Clash Anytime update, which of course deletes training time. You can literally just train your army automatically and run in there. If you've been living under a rock or unfamiliar with Clash, or maybe you left Clash because training time took too long, now is definitely the time to get back into it because you can literally Clash anytime you want, and it's pretty amazing. But that being said, let's jump into the first attack. We won't be explaining too many of our attacks this video. Like I said, we're going to do a montage, but I want to just kind of give a dive in. Big huge shout out to, I believe it was a gentleman named Shock who plays Clash of Clans, show me kind of what these event troops can do. It's actually pretty nice because we've always used a battle blimp in more of our recent attacks as far as Dragon Riders, and Kane kind of does that without needing a battle blimp. So you can kind of use him and then another siege machine otherwise. But here basically the whole point of Kane is it is a troop that goes directly for the town hall, kind of makes a straight shot, at least in his first form. The whole strategy is just to make him invisible as he goes through it, knock some stuff out. If you can get the clan castle or a big defense, maybe like the monolith or the eagle artillery, then it's a huge plus. And then after that, you will kind of create a somewhat of a funnel, if you will, with your king, your queen, and a siege machine. I've been using the siege barracks just because having some troops on the ground is nice. I know troop launcher is also pretty decent for this attack, but you kind of just let them off on one side, and then on the opposite side, you release your, I'm going to call them Valkyries, but they're not Valkyries, and I can't remember the name of them. Disassembler, maybe? I actually don't remember the name of the event troop. But the Valkyrie lookalikes with the Warden, and I use a Warden's Apprentice, which sometimes does okay, and sometimes it doesn't. And they kind of just run through the base. So the event troops are actually pretty crazy. The Kane, which is basically the big P.E.K.K.A, has 2 lives, and then the second life he gets kind of an effect like the electric boots of the Royal Champion, and then the Valkyrie looking ladies, Disassemblers I think is their name, but I'm probably going to get it wrong. Someone can roast me in the comments if you'd like. Get 3 lives, which effectively gives them like 20,000 HP or something like that crazy. So, and then the Giant, which is also pretty decent, is like 30,000 health worth of troops. So, and then there's also things called Eaters, which are also pretty good. But anyway, if you guys haven't checked out the event, there's still a few more days at the time of this recording. Maybe like 3 or 4 days by the time you guys see this video. I would definitely jump in there, check out the troops, go through the event if you want to get the new epic equipment, which of course is the Giant Puppet or something like that. Giant Puppet, which is the Queen's new epic equipment. Pretty worth it. By the way, some juicy loot. But yeah, I would definitely check it out if I were you guys, or if you just want to get back into the game, like I said, because you can play anytime you want. So pretty amazing if you ask me. And I've kind of showing it off right now. We're just kind of switching out, showing off what's going on as far as our troops and whatnot. We also have the Mighty Morsel active, so that's why our heroes are maxed out and all that stuff. Some of our hero equipment is still not quite maxed out, and I think we showed off later in the video, so you guys will see. We definitely have a bunch of stuff to work off still in Town Hall 15, but we're doing okay. I'd like to think so. I'm going to kind of let the background play a little bit before we do a little montage and kind of talk about life things, what's been going on with the channel and kind of what's been going on with me as far as why I haven't been around nearly as much. Life just gets busy. That's really the answer. That's the short answer. The long answer is lots of changes going on. As you guys know, we moved last year, kind of had a different chapter in life, different job careers and all that stuff. So trying to get settled into everything. And then this year, ooh, excuse me. Don't want to cough into the mic there. This year is kind of focusing on us figuring out what the plan is for next year. Our permanent plan was never to stay in the area that we are currently in. So we're trying to figure out how to best get there, but lots of new stuff coming up. Like I said, our youngest child is starting school soon. Our oldest son is going to high school next year. So all kinds of craziness happening. And a little sneak peek for y'all. The people that probably watch this that are friends already know the information, but there is a dark Nubis coming this way, folks. That's right. The missus and I are expecting Dark Persephone and myself, bringing another little one into the world. So you know how that goes. Prepping for another beautiful, hopefully, little girl. We'll see, though. We haven't gotten so lucky, but we'll see how that goes, I suppose. But yeah, that's pretty the exciting parts, I guess. And like I said, just a lot of moving parts and getting, through life and finding balance, if you will. So within that balance, I haven't necessarily found the time to make content the way I'd like to. Plus, I was getting a little burnt out with some of the Supercell games. I've been coming back a little bit, but not nearly as much. So I would eventually like to get back into it. I think now we'll try to aim for maybe 1 video a week, maybe more. I do have to get some videos out there for YouTube purposes. So if you guys see a few more fluctuation over the next few days or week, then that would be why. But don't expect that to be a constant. Like I said, we don't plan on coming back full time for a while. But I would like to try to get videos a little bit out there, tell you guys what's going on and see how the channel is doing. Like I said, I don't want this channel to go anywhere. I'm not trying to end it by any means, but I do sometimes take my hiatuses. I apologize for that. But we do have definitely plans as far as showing off this stuff. I have a new game that I started playing. Some of you probably know it, Marvel Rivals, a new hero shooter, much like Overwatch, that I've been really getting into. So I would definitely like to show that on the channel if I can find a way to do so. And then there's also a new co-op game for any OGs of the channel who might remember. The It Takes Two developers came out with a new game called Split Fiction, and I'd love to stream that with Persephone and myself. I think it'd be kind of a cool experience. Plus, I hear the game is really good. So hopefully in the next couple weeks you guys see that. We'll post something on the channel community page or Twitter or whatever to show off or let you guys know when that stuff comes. So pretty exciting about that stuff as well. Sorry to interrupt, but I did want to say this army is so strong that I was actually able to hit a couple 16s. Now, mind you, the clan castles weren't filled up, but this is a pretty maxed 16, I'd say, with the exception of the walls. And you're going to see just how well this combination does well. I actually tried something a little bit different that I haven't seen in other people's attacks, which is opening up the cane that is on the opponent's field and then letting it kind of do a double cane through the core and see kind of what they can get. I invest a little bit more spells into it, but to be honest, sometimes it actually does super well and clears out a bunch of stuff, especially if you drop a rage on both your canes. If they're in the second form with that little ore, just doing tons of damage and crushing buildings, some heroes and stuff like that. But the same thing applies pretty much. You just put your heroes on one side. Sometimes I might put my queen and king on one side, have my siege barracks on the other side if there's not a whole lot of stuff going on, and then I'll put my assemblers, disassemblers, Valkyrie lookalikes, whatever you want to call them, back in the middle with the warden to kind of do a 3-lane attack, if you will, and it does super, super well. It's kind of ridiculous. I'm going to miss these troops. I know a lot of the sweats of Clash hate event troops because they're in Legends and they hate going 320 or whatever the heck the thing is. You guys know here we're casual gamers. We're not super serious about it. We enjoy the fun. We understand these troops are only here for a short period of time, so why not enjoy it while you can? Like I said, your sweat lobbies and all that stuff will still be here in 2-3 weeks time. You can go back to doing all your climbing. I promise having event troops every so often is not going to kill you, for all of my sweaty sweats out there. But that being said, as you can see, this base is pretty much crushed. We did have to use all of our resources for the most part, with the exception of Invisible Potion, which I guess kind of shows that it's not the most OP. I think pre-nerf we probably would have swagged a few more spells and maybe even a hero, but for the most part, any 15s or maybe like low 16s that are maybe rush 16s, you can swag hero abilities, a whole hero, several potions. I mean, these troops are just crazy, but honestly, it's totally worth it in my opinion. I can't even complain about it. I think it's actually super cool. I know people might have a problem with it, but it's pretty awesome if you ask me. There's me talking in my clan chat, which we're going to talk a little bit about the clan later in the video, possibly towards the end, kind of talking about what's going on with the clan and the task force a little bit on Boom Beach. By the way, for all my Boom Beach lovers, we will be doing an update on that. I've missed a lot of stuff in Boom Beach and in Clash, all kinds of craziness. I actually don't think I put out a video before Town Hall 17 got released in Clash, so that just goes to show you how long it's been, because I think that was back in November time period. There's a new Town Hall if you've been living under a rock. A lot of complaints towards that, I guess. Some people aren't huge fans because of the Eagle Artillery and Town Hall getting mixed together. Personally, I think it's just a growth game. I think they've made some interesting choices. Some stuff good, some stuff meh. But overall, I think the game is still relatively healthy. I think the pro scene, I haven't been super into it, is still doing pretty well. So I can't say it's been the worst experience for them, but definitely some growing pains. And as the game progresses, I mean, you got to kind of give and take with offense and defense. So some people hate when the game is super easy. Other people aren't super big fans of it if you're a casual player, when it's like super hard and you can't even get the stuff that you want to get. But slightly different way of playing, because you can only take out small portions and still win your battles basically in Clash of Clans, which is different from Boom Beach. Which reminds me, I never did a video about that. But anyway, I digress. But yeah, like I said, not too bad. I'm trying to think, because I feel like there's so much I've missed in Clash. I mean, honestly, all the major events and stuff I've tried to participate in to some extent. The clan hasn't been really into the clan war leagues, but like I said, we'll talk more about that later. And yeah, there's been a couple events, couple pieces of equipment. I'm trying to think. The electric boots came out in this time period for the Royal Champion. Some snake bracelet came out with the last event, I believe it was the springtime event, or the Chinese New Year, or whatever it was. So, I mean, I haven't found anything super interesting, but it's definitely some new stuff, if you will. Life stuff, not a whole lot. I think I've told you guys kind of everything that's going on. All of this to say that I've been quite a busy camper, but don't worry, we're not going nowhere, folks. Like I said, we're going to get back into it slowly but surely. Either way, let's have some fun. We're going to do a little montage, so this video is not like 40 minutes long, because that's how long the recording is. We'll speed up some stuff. Maybe I'll throw some silly stuff in there, and then we'll talk a little bit at the end, or maybe a text that I enjoy a little bit. We'll, slow those down or whatever the case is. But otherwise, enjoy it. Let's have some fun. And I've missed you all very much. I hope you all have been missing the content. Don't worry, it'll be back surely.
I've been thinking that I can't quite get enough time on the inside of the cycle that you spin with gravity and dust. I've fallen in between the planets and the sun into the orbit that surrounds you. That orbit that surrounds you. That orbit that surrounds you. That orbit that surrounds you. Now the space is filling up, satellites that I can't seem to keep track of. I get the feeling I'm not quite made of the right stuff to float between the rings of cosmic metal love into the orbit that surrounds you. That orbit that surrounds you. That orbit that surrounds you. That orbit that surrounds you.
Mission sequence.
That orbit that surrounds you. 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 It's not the same when I'm with you. You open up, I fall right through. Came out a different shade of blue. It's not the same when I'm with you. But it's always a surprise when, oh, it's always a surprise when the tide comes in. When the tide comes in. But it's always a surprise when, oh, it's always a surprise when you call again. When you call again. How long's the shoreline anyway? I've measured every other day. Tide washes all my work away. How long's the shoreline anyway? But it's always a surprise when, oh, it's always a surprise when the tide comes in. When the tide comes in. But it's always a surprise when, oh, it's always a surprise when you call again. When you call again. But it's always a surprise when, oh, it's always a surprise when the tide comes in. When the tide comes in. But it's always a surprise when, oh, it's always a surprise when you call again. When you call again. sparrow or a plane drops down a couple feet again to catch the wind that still remains, but I'm left breathless anyway. I thought the world ended in March until I heard the doorbell ring. Just me here standing in the dark, but I'll light up everything again. This can't be the end. This can't be the end. This can't be the end. This can't be the end of all that summer had to say. What little time has gone away, I'll glue it all back anyway. I'll glue it all back anyway. This can't be the end. This can't be the end. This can't be the end. This can't be the end of all that summer had to say. What little time has gone away, I'll glue it all back anyway. I'll glue it all back anyway. Written in the back of my old diary, I gotta break sometime. It's underlined in lead, scrawled across the screen beneath the spider ring. I gotta break sometime. I left it up.
Quite the showing. Honestly, this video is already way longer than I expected it to be, but it's all good. As you guys saw, we had quite the run. We're trying to get enough resources to be able to do some upgrades on the base. We're going to work on, honestly, I have no idea, but we definitely wanted to get some elixir for our Grand Warden. We also have some books of heroes to get that upgrade all the way going, because we don't ever like to have our heroes down. Technically, we have 5 heroes now, which does bring up the funny fact that the Minion Prince is also released in the game. He released at Town Hall 17 as well, so if you guys aren't sure about that, you can always have at least 1 hero down and still have 4 heroes up, which is pretty neato if you ask me. But anyway, I digress again. Yeah, we wanted to get our Warden up, and we also started our upgrades on our Wizard Towers. But yeah, had to get a little bit of stuff going, as well, of course, as some walls. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like I said, it was, it's a little bit longer than I wanted it to be, but consider it my grand return, if you will. Just kind of showing you all off what's going on, how the attacks are going, and of course these amazing event troops. Even some of my botched hits managed to make it work, with the exception of that one hit. We won't talk about it though. But yeah, it's been an interesting journey, I will say. The last 6 or 7 months, maybe a little bit longer than I've been gone. I hope you guys haven't missed me too much. I know a lot of people have been asking and wondering where I've been. I've even been a little bit of a ghost in some of the communities that I used to be a big chatter on and stuff like that. We're going to try to make it back. Don't worry, guys. We will. We're actually showing off our clan capital and our builder base. Is that what it's called? Yeah, our builder base. Trying to get those leveled up. We're actually working pretty well on the clan capital, but mind you, our clan is definitely a little dead. I'm not going to lie to y'all. So it's been a little bit slow. We are excited to get to Clan Capital 8 because that will release Skeleton Park, which I think is the skeleton spell, which is pretty good for some attacks. So we'll probably show that off a little bit more as we get further along, if you will. We'll see how that goes. And then I got to talk to you guys a little bit about it. Honestly, the clan is not looking great. A lot of people have kind of moved on with their lives, or, you know, got busy doing other things. Understandably, real life always comes first. But if you guys are interested in helping a dead clan kind of come back to life, we do have a few active people, and of course the resident dweller of the underworld to lead it all. Here is the clan tag. I'll also put it in the description, or a link to the clan, as well as the task force. Task force is actually doing really well in Boom Beach, and that's a huge part in the co-leaders there and whatnot. A lot of guys have been staying active, so, but there's always space for anybody who's interested in and wanting to help out the clan. like I said, we'd really help appreciate it. And it would be nice to get back into Clan War Leagues, because honestly, I miss it. It's good rewards, it's good fun, you know, kind of a little bit more of a challenge, especially with all the missteps and all that stuff. But hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. I will see you guys very soon. I'll get a video out there of Boom Beach and some of my other accounts, and then hopefully some new content here in the near future. But as always, there's only one way we know how to say goodbye on this channel. I am the resident dweller of the Underworld, the casual player's player, the David to Max Player's Goliath, Dark Anubis, and I crushed that one attempt only. See y'all next time. Peace.
The top A train, I'll go wherever you go. I'll go